Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be something a little bit different and something that I don't think I have ever spoken about on my channel before. Basically, as you can probably see by the title of this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how you can deal with stress and anxiety and little tips and tricks to kind of settle it and kind of get rid of it. So I know you're probably thinking, what does this girl have any idea about stress and anxiety, you know? When I say stress and anxiety, I mean stress as in obviously you're stressed out, maybe you're doing a HSC at the moment, maybe you have a lot going on at home, maybe you're very busy at work and you're just genuinely really stressed. And then also by anxiety, I mean the mental illness anxiety where you're having anxiety attacks and all that kind of stuff. So I do just want to make a disclaimer that I am not a professional, I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but I have struggled with, obviously everybody goes through stressful times in their life, but I've also struggled with anxiety for the past few years in my life. It began when I was in high school. I'm now out of high school and it's still kind of around. I think anxiety is something that I guess never truly goes away. It's something that is always kind of there in the back of your mind, but I guess, you know, like any other illness, but anything like that, that's kind of something that you just have to learn to live with and learn to cope with. Basically, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my personal tips and tricks that work for me to deal with stress and anxiety. So my first and probably most important tip for dealing with stress and anxiety is to acknowledge that it's there. To realize that you're stressed out, to realize that you're dealing with anxiety, to realize that you're having an anxiety attack, and to acknowledge your thoughts and acknowledge that it's there and realize what's happening. So for me, something that has really helped is learning how to differentiate anxiety thoughts and rational thoughts, because obviously they're two very different things. When you're stressed out or when you're anxious, you're thinking things that probably aren't that much big of a deal. Obviously when you're having an anxiety attack or you're very stressed out, your thoughts obviously aren't going to be super rational. So what you need to do is, if you're having an anxiety attack about something, you need to realize that it's happening. Obviously you realize that it's happening, but you kind of need to, I guess, analyze your thoughts and realize that it's the anxiety talking and it's not your normal rational thoughts. So for me personally, I get very anxious and nervous when I have to go out, even when it's with friends. I get very anxious and nervous before I went to school every morning. It was insane. But after dealing with it for so long, I started to realize that I would get so anxious and so nervous before I went to school every morning, but then when I got to school, I was fine. I was completely fine, nothing was wrong, it was all in my head. So you need to realize that there's a difference between anxiety thoughts and normal thoughts. And for me, yeah, like I said, it's whenever I'm going out, when I'm going to go out with friends, or sometimes if I'm going to work, like when I went to school, kind of, I guess, social events, not really events, but social aspects would make me really nervous and anxious. And you need to, what I did is I kind of sat down and thought, why are you anxious? Why are you nervous? Like what do you think is going to happen? And eventually, after doing that multiple times, you kind of start to realize that, you know, I'm not really thinking rationally. I know that this is the anxiety talking, and you just kind of learn to ignore it, and then eventually it will tone down and the anxiety attack will be over. It's not really that simple. I know there are a lot of different aspects and types of anxiety. Some people get random anxiety attacks out of nowhere, and that's obviously something that you can't help. people get anxious like I do in social aspects. You don't really like going out with friends and stuff like that. There are just a lot of different triggers and reasons for anxiety. And I do know that, and I do know that these tips might not work for everybody, but this is what works for me. So I thought that I would share it with you guys, so hopefully it can help you as well. So my second tip is breathing exercises and meditation. I have tried these and they work wonders for me. If I'm feeling really stressed or anxious about something, you kind of just need to stop for 5 minutes, stop whatever you're doing and just focus on breathing and just relax. And there are a few breathing exercises and meditation exercises and stuff out there on the internet if you Google that will be able to help you. It's kind of just like taking 5-10 minutes out of your day to just stop and breathe and relax and kind of clear your mind and be able to kind of clear your mind so that you're able to think more rationally and kind of get rid of those negative, anxious thoughts. Third tip is to talk to somebody about it. If there is something in the back of your mind that's making you really stressed out or making you really anxious and nervous, then I definitely suggest to talk to somebody about it, whether it is a member of your family, whether it's a friend or even a professional, just anybody who you can trust and anybody who you think will be able to help you. That does really help me. I like to talk to my mum about things that stress me out. Me and my mum are really close, so she helps me out a lot. But yeah, I think being able to talk about it and kind of get it off your chest and get somebody else's perspective, even if it is somebody that is going through the same or similar thing to you, they might be able to have kind of a better outsider's perspective on the situation, and their outsider's view might be able to give you kind of a bit of a clearer view of the situation. One thing that I do want to say to you guys is that if you feel like that you don't have anybody that you can talk to, I'm sure there is somebody out there that you can talk to and trust. You just have to look really, really deep and try to find somebody. Also, if you don't feel comfortable talking to anybody in your personal life, then you can always feel free to message me on my Instagram or my Twitter, or any way you can message me, and I am more than happy to help you guys out. I'm more than happy to listen to you guys and kind of try and help you out with your problems. So my fourth tip is to find an activity that relaxes you or a hobby that you love. So that can be painting, drawing, music, YouTube videos, I don't know, you could start a blog, even if it's just listening to music. Find an activity that relaxes you so that when you are stressed out or if you are really anxious, then you can kind of go and do this activity to try and take your mind off whatever is happening. But with saying that, you shouldn't use that activity as a reason to avoid the problem or avoid the issue. It's just to kind of take your mind off it, and then you obviously do need to go back to it and, you know, resolve it. So my last tip is kind of a cliche, and it's what everybody says, and a lot of people dealing with anxiety and stuff kind of don't really like to hear it because, I don't know, but it's kind of just a very cliche tip on how to deal with anxiety. But it is basically to tell yourself that everything's going to be okay, and kind of realizing, like with my first tip, being able to differentiate anxious thoughts from rational thoughts, realizing that when you're in the middle of an anxiety attack or in the middle of stressing out, that is just that moment, and eventually everything is going to be okay. You're going to get through this. You're going to be able to sort this out. You just need to think positive thoughts, put positive energy out into the universe, and yeah, just think positively and realize that everything's going to be okay, and that one anxious moment isn't going to last forever, and then eventually everything is going to be okay. That is all for my tips and tricks on how to deal with stress and anxiety. I'm more than happy to listen and help you guys out. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought of this video down in the comments. If you would like me to do more videos like this talking about I guess mental illnesses that not many people on the internet like to talk about, but I want to help you guys out. That is it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. All of my social media links are down in the description bar, so you can follow me on those. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. We're gonna be alright.